Alfie Solomons is one of the most loved characters of Peaky Blinders with Thomas Shelby. Actually, his character is just trash as he betrayed Thomas many times, but he has some of habits what makes him charismatic, charming, strong, dominant, and the only person who won an argue against Thomas Shelby. And today we are gonna be breaking down Alfie Solomons and analyze how he dominates every situation and wins his argues. Enjoy watching. The first habit of Alfie Solomons is repeating answers. This trick is really simple and short to explain. It can be used to buy some time, but some other times, it can be also used to make fool of the other person. Let's have a look at this scene.
Not bad.
Not bad, Not bad.
You see, he's just having fun with repeating Tommy's answer.
Fucking awful, that stuff. Fucking brown stuff is horrible. It's for the workers. Yeah.
And his next behavior already proves that he was making fool of with him repeating it. Here's another scene.
You need to be more realistic.
Realistic, yeah? Realistic.
He repeats Tommy's answer 2 times. That means he wants to buy some time to calculate his next words and also emphasizes his answer as a sign of he got irritated. Which brings us the third meaning of repeating answers. Sometimes people can repeat the answer they got just to show that they are irritated of your answer, and that causes to raise the tension. So here's the key to use this trick. Think about what will mean the answer before you repeat it depending on the situation you are in. For example, if you want to make fool of the other person, which I don't recommend ever, but let's say you want to do for some reason, do it with a sweet facial expression and when you are not talking something serious. It can even be understood as a joke and you can create a funny atmosphere when you are establishing your authority. If you want to show the other person that you're about to getting serious because his words irritated you, then you can repeat it more than once with lifted eyebrows or with leaning in and eye lock, which are huge body language gestures of threatening the other person, like Alfie did here. As I said, that can cause to raise the tension, but eventually you will make the other person watch his tongue. Alfie uses this trick really often and it allows him to make fool of the other person without making the other person angry or allows him to treat him. It's very useful, isn't it? Second habit of Alfie Solomons is he takes break during a conversation. This is very simple but extremely useful another trick. We usually tend to respond instantly, but sometimes that may not be the best response we can give. Moreover, that can even make things worse or makes you look like out of control. So, sometimes you may want to use this trick just to stay in control. Also, it can give you time to think what to say, or it can give you the opportunity to redirect the conversation in a way you want. For example, let's have a look at this scene.
Into the city and just fucking unlock the fucking gates!
I'm sorry, what are you saying, mate?
You see, the tension was really high. Sabine was angry, but after Alfie took a break, Sabine's voice got lower.
I'm saying... Yeah, I'm sorry about the Jew thing.
And Alfie's break here just de-escalated the tension easily. Also, with redirecting the conversation with a question, he got his apology, which makes him the winner here. Here's another scene. Same move again, but the aim is different.
Suit yourself.
Alfie does this to show that he's upset a little bit and to urge Tommy to be this, which isn't working on Tommy because, as you already know, he can reclaim his control even when there's a gun to his head, but normally it will work against most of the people, and you can use this trick to give a warning that it doesn't matter even if they don't understand the meaning of your break. You just will be bought time to think about your next words and de-escalate the tension, which will probably lead a better end of the conversation for you. Also, some of you may notice that Tommy takes breaks too. The main difference between their type of taking break is Alfie takes breaks between conversation usually before he responds something, and Tommy takes break between his words. Because Alfie is a type of guy who steals spotlight every time when he walks into the room, so he knows he's at the center of attention. So he isn't worried about losing interest and can take long breaks when he's thinking or showing that he's upset. But Tommy is not taking the risk of losing attention with long breaks. So he takes breaks when he's talking in order to buy some time and think. Just wanted to make you know that, because they are using the same trick in a conversation, but there's a difference and you may want to choose the one which is more suitable for you. Here's the third habit of Alfie Solomons. He's always making eye contact. Eye contact is probably one of the most used gestures of all time. Even in the Peaky Blinders, Tommy, Luca, Alfie and all of the other guys are using it. But Alfie is an expert of making eye contact. Eye contact has a lot of different means and it changes depending on the topic and body language. Like it can be a sign of attractiveness or threatening the other person. And for Alfie, he uses eye contact often and does it when he's got threatened, which he shouldn't do. When he's threatening the other person, that's okay. Or even when he's about to use an offensive word to someone stronger than him when he's under pressure.
Well, you are a fucking wop, mate.
His type of making eye contact is more like locking his eyes to target, which is the most common sign of threatening. Actually, again, I wouldn't recommend you to hold eye contact too long because regardless of your position, it will raise the tension between you and the other person. And that may cause unwanted results. But as I said, Alfie is an expert of using this trick and he always pushes it as far as possible without crossing the line. Let's have a look at this scene.
I'm Old Testament.
Fucking hell, look at that. Now that scares me more. Yeah. Congratulations, Tommy. You now have the finished article right there, ain't you?
You see, Alfie's breaking eye contact by looking side, which is a meaning of he wants to de-escalate the tension without showing any sign of weakness. Breaking eye contact by looking down is a sign of acknowledging the other person's authority over you. So people intend to do it when they feel nervous. And breaking by looking side is the perfect way to de-escalate the tension without acknowledging his authority, without showing that you're afraid of your enemy, or without showing any sign of weakness. And watch again this scene.
I'm Old Testament.
Arthur locks his eyes to Alfie when he says this. And Alfie knows the meaning of it, so he breaks eye contact by looking side on purpose, because he doesn't want to have trouble with Arthur Shelby. As he describes here, he thinks Arthur is an animal, so he chose to break eye contact for not having trouble and chose to break it by looking side, for not making himself look weak. Alfie also uses long eye contact to emphasize his words or threat and establish his authority over the other person too. That works for him almost every situation and he's completely adept at using eye contact. And I wanted to show you 3 versions of making eye contact which you can use depending on the situation. Fourth habit of Alfie Solomons is he always takes control of the situation. Remember this scene when he closed his eyes against Luca? He wasn't actually meditating. I mean, yeah, he was, but there's a reason why he meditates when Luca is about to come to see him. Because he wants to have his own way, not the way of Luca's. And in order to take the control of the situation, he needed to do something different because if we talk about in terms of power, he knows Luca is already stronger than him with more money and more power. That's why he wanted to do something different to take them out of their comfort zone. And it worked. He literally drove them crazy.
Luca, e tu fatta così, E non abbiamo bisogno di tu.
And this shows us how important and hard can be the taking control of the situation. Here's another scene.
Sit down. Come on, sit down here. There you go. Right. Listen, Arthur.
Of course, he doesn't order, but he actually takes control of Arthur by asking politely, holding his arm and sitting him in the armchair. And with that, he forced Arthur to have a conversation which he didn't want to have. This is another scene.
You want to take a look at my bakery? We bake all sorts here, mate, yeah. Did you know?
Here's not actually a domination with fighting or tension, but he takes the control of the situation with taking lead, showing the way, walking ahead. Again, that didn't work on Tommy at all, but this is how you take the control with little but important steps. Remember that in communication with people, confidence comes from first knowing yourself and second knowing your environment. And with being confident in what you do, you can take almost every situation's control and dominate every conversation. The fifth habit of Alfie Solomons is he usually remains calm. Besides the benefits, it's possible to say that it's what makes Alfie charismatic and charming. He's always so relaxed. He can remain his calm even under pressure. In this scene, he explains it well enough already.
Tied his fucking lace, I saw him. Look, he planted a grenade, I know he did. Alfie, it's Tommy fucking Shelby.
You were behaving like a fucking child. This is a man's world.
Here's another scene.
Ian, don't fucking unlock the fucking gates! I'm sorry, what are you saying, mate? I'm saying...
I told you that he takes break here, but also he still remains calm and responds with a lower voice than which any of us would do if someone against us screams like that. So he remains his calm here too. As I remember, there's not any scene that he's got angry. Except these two. First, he's not really angry here. He's talking loud because he wants to make them fear.
Says to you, or any of your other fucking superior officers say to you, yeah? Not discussed!
And this scene is where Alfie broke his staying calm rule.
It's unfucking justified! I want him to acknowledge that he who fights by the sword, he fucking dies by it, Tommy!
Sometimes even Alfie can get angry if his line is crossed. But till he got angry, he was really confident even with a gun which was pointing him and was managing the situation really well. What made Alfie pissed off was...
You crossed the line, Alfie. You crossed the line. The line?
Tommy tried to judge him like he never killed someone other's son. And he broke this rule in a really important situation for him, because he wasn't that much angry even when he got a gun to his head. Overall, Alfie uses this trick to bring a better end to situations, like he was trying here. But if you make him angry, he doesn't even care the consequences of his actions and destroys you really bad. Probably he's the one who smashed Tommy the most in a conversation ever. So sometimes, remaining calm may not be the best way, and you should show some anger to win argues if they cross the red line of yours. But overall, it works. Alfie uses all of these tricks together, and those were just some of the things that what makes Alfie so charismatic, charming, strong, and the winner of the most of his argues. I hope you enjoyed. I guess you did already if you watched till here. So please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.